Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat chat chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project in a landfill already.
And there you have
that one before.
No. We'll talk about that one more.
Terrible idea.
Yo, we back.
Que pasa, Mufasa?
Man, it feels like we haven't done one of these in a long time.
Yeah. All right.
Saying that earlier, it's like it feels like it's been a month and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome back to the Breakdown Pair. We were off last time because I was getting back from a trip in Colorado, and then we had the following week we had our regular leagues, and it was city tournament week, and so we just thought better of trying to cram it in, so we skipped it, and here we are.
Yeah, we tried to fit in a Wednesday, which would have been weird, but I was busy that night, so I couldn't do it.
So, what you drinking? Because that's the most important.
Believe it or not, I'm actually being basic, and I'm actually drinking just Jim Beam.
Yeah.
No, just Jim Beam.
I've got a few new ones. Oh, yeah, I fall asleep to these sometimes. I've always, people have told me I'm like the best bowling ASMR guy out there, so.
Fall asleep to these sometimes. Sorry, we're bored.
Yeah, so Angel got me a bottle of Celtic honey, Irish honey liqueur. So I'm going to try that out and see what that's all about. And then I found a cheap but promising bottle of scotch when we were down at Southwest this weekend. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this is Airstone single malt Scotch whiskey land cask, 10 years. So we'll see what that's all. I haven't even opened them yet. So
sweet.
See what they're all about.
I think that Scotch one's the one you told me about down in Wichita, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we were walking around looking at stuff, and normally I go look at the Scotch, and everything I want's like $80 or something. I'm like, whatever. But this was like $30, and I hadn't seen it before. So
Wichita is my favorite liquor store ever. Now I'm sure there's plenty more around the country that are just as good or better, but at Jacob's Liquor Exchange there in Wichita, basically diagonal from North Rock, is pretty freaking sweet. I mean, if you can't find what you're looking for in that place, you're in the wrong building.
Yeah, it's huge. I think that sorry to cut you off.
You're good. You're good.
No, I think that store used to be like a grocery store or something.
Yeah.
I think they repurposed it for a liquor store, and so I mean the prices are not great, or they're not. It's not like they're bad, but they're the same you're going to find everywhere else. The thing that they have is the selection.
And they have $6,000 bottles of whiskey and scotch.
Yeah, that too.
It is so when you first walk in, there is a cigar shop actually to the right. So they now have
that's the other thing too.
Cigar shop and then just full liquor. I mean, wine all separated. It's pretty freaking sweet. I'm like a kid in a candy store in there. You think I'm a drunk or something? Well, taste test.
That stuff would be dangerous because it's 30%, which is a little bit lower than normal. But you really can't taste it. It says it's inspired by honey mead. I think the first thing that my brother and his buddy ever made was a honey mead. And when we tried it, it was like 2 years old at like 17 some odd %. And it tasted like straight up honey. Like you couldn't even taste the liquor in it. So
that will hurt you.
Had to be slow on that. So
yeah, that will definitely catch up to you. What's up, Luke and Jonathan? What's up? Missed everybody. Been forever. I was ready to do a show.
I took 4th place in classified last year for singles. As of now, I see the scores aren't too crazy. For nationals, yes, the scores are not too crazy yet. PJ Haggerty's group shot 34-22 a couple days ago, and the previous high was like 32 something. So they set it by a good almost 200 pins. And I think 34-22, it may not win, but that's what's been with 35 or 33.50 to like 34.50 has been the magic number for years now. 34-22. If it doesn't win, it's top 5.
Oh, that's still gonna catch a nice check. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely don't look as. I'm trying to think of the best word to describe it. They don't look as easy, I guess, as they were last year. Maybe for the righties.
They look. From what I saw from those guys, PJ, David O'Sullivan, Sean Nauman, they were playing pretty straight with strong, like sanded TNT, sanded phase 2, stuff like that, and so they were playing straight.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. I mean, you definitely know it's not last year because we haven't had 7 300s in the first couple of weeks already.
Yeah, it looked like there's definitely volume there.
Yeah.
The early scouting report is that it seems to be the same, about 41 feet for team, 38 for doubles and singles, which is following the same as it has been the last couple of years. It used to be that team was the shorter pattern and doubles singles was the longer one, but it makes more sense to flip them because if the team pattern already starts out short and kind of dry-ish, it's just going to get so much worse the rest of the way through. And so making it the longer or heavier feeling pattern, I think, is the smarter direction to go. But they're the same feels of patterns. They just flip doubles and singles.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I've always liked the idea of the shorter pattern being doubles and singles as well. So, and not the team event. The team event, you're definitely gonna want a little more volume because they're gonna get burned up.
Yeah.
So, especially because everybody, if you do it right, if you do it right and work together as a team and come up with a game plan, yes, they should open up and become playable. But everybody usually has their own agenda when they go through these things. We know that.
Yeah. No worries, Luke. Cutting off Jay Haas is normal. Can't ever really hear the shorter guys when they talk. I cut myself off when I'm talking to myself, so that's just a force. It's just an inescapable force of nature.
By the way, I was going to say on the show tonight, if anybody hasn't watched it yet, the little rabbit trail thing you did a couple weeks ago, pretty cool. Give it a listen if you guys got nothing going on later on after this or tomorrow. Luke gets in on some depth and talks about some pretty good stuff. So check that out. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm going to use it as my kind of de facto thing to rant or complain about stuff. I'm going to try to be positive leaning, but they're just, unfortunately, the bowling industry gives you so many opportunities to complain about stuff. And the complaining is not complaining to be miserable and complain, because we're still in it, still going to keep doing it. It's just, you got to kind of kick some people in the ass sometimes to improve things.
Yep, you're not wrong.
Like I was reading Jeff Riggle's article, and with the renovations to the National Bowling Stadium, they took out the pro shop and lane 81. So no more Jazz Now lessons on site, no more pro shop. They'll still have the booths and stuff, but they don't have the pro shop in there. So if they have another tournament going on that is not nationals and they don't have all the manufacturer booths or whatever, there's no pro shop in there. So if you need anything, you just better have brought all your tools, which probably not a thing if you're flying on an airplane. I don't know how you get a bevel knife onto a plane, or bottles of polish or whatever else. So there's just no pro shop at the MBS anymore, apparently.
Interesting. I mean, you can still get ball work done at the booths, I'm sure, if you absolutely have to, right?
At the booths, but that's the thing, is they have other events there. They have the TAT or the military championships or whatever, whenever they have that stuff there. If Nationals isn't there, any other bowling event, they're not going to have anything.
Weird. I wonder why they chose to take that out. We may never know, but I'm just curious on why they chose to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I know we were talking, and it's in the description here, we were talking a little bit, too, here in a bit, of why they always choose to host it in Vegas and Reno. I mean, it's pretty simple to answer that.
I think it's pretty simple, but people keep arguing and bitching about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, here, my opinion as to why I think that they do it in Reno and Vegas and back and forth is because it's a center that's already built. They don't have to pre-build lanes. It's already, they can have the centers as long as they want because they can lock them down for nothing else going on. It's basically arena setting, so it's not like something's going on with leagues every night. It saves them a ton of money to have it at those two places. But there could be other reasons. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
It's pretty much the same thing, is people don't realize that convention centers do not want to rent out their center for 4 solid months. And then it's all the extra expense. Number one, they have to rent the convention center for 4 months because they also have to, even if the tournament runs for like 3.5, they've got to be in there setting up like a month in advance because they get 60 lanes, 48 lanes, whatever in there. That takes forever. I mean, it doesn't take forever, but it takes an awful long time to set all that up. And then they have to run all the tapes on it. And if anything's out of spec or whatever, they got to go back and level the lanes, and this stuff just doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
So they have to rent a major convention center for 4 months. Then they have to pay for all the machines, all the equipment, all the whatever else, where when you already have the built centers in Reno and Vegas, it's one of those things that's like, okay, so people already are not really big fans of the prize funds.
Yeah.
They water them down so much, they pay so many spots that you get something back, and you've got to do really, really well to get anything decent back. And especially with the prices that are in Reno this year, they're improving Reno, but you can tell that they're improving. Everybody's saying that the lockers are like $10 now.
Woo.
The drinks at the center, or it's like $15. Somebody said $15 for a Coors Light. That's probably an over-exaggeration, but I mean, if you get like a single Jack on the rocks, it's like $12.
Those are like Tulsa prices.
Mm.
Sorry. If anybody in here is from Tulsa, you would know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Anybody that bowls at Andy B's in Tulsa, you know exactly what we're talking about.
So I am personally, I may be in the minority here, and I'm sure I'm not. But I enjoy when they used to go to all the convention centers and build up the lanes. To me, it's cool. It's different.
Yeah. It's different.
I mean, Reno's cool to experience it if you haven't experienced it at least once. I hate Reno personally. I'm not a huge fan. Now, of course, the bowling in the stadium's cool and whatnot, but not a huge fan of it. I was one of those, like I said, I like going to the convention center. It's cool walking in, going bowling in a convention center. Man, this is neat. Kind of feel like you're bowling something the tour guys do.
Yeah, and we will be back in Baton Rouge next year.
I love Baton Rouge.
So Baton Rouge was interesting, but it's a dump.
Yeah.
So it was a fun trip.
Get the bowl in the convention center though.
Mm.
And I actually found the last year that we were at Baton Rouge, I did find some pretty good food spots. Like we ate it like 3 or 4 times at one of the restaurants. But some of the best gator I've ever had.
Yeah, there were some pretty good food spots that we found.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then you got to make it, if you're a football fan, you got to make a trip to go see LSU's football stadium. It's huge.
Yeah,
just go down and see it. It's massive.
Yeah,
I think it holds like 102,000 people or something like that. So.
Yeah, and the problem is though that they're also finding, like the convention center that we were at in Baton Rouge was right down on the river, and it was kind of a dirty area. Syracuse was in a really that convention center was in a really sketchy part of town. Maybe the entire town is sketchy. El Paso was really nice. Everybody, and that's the funny thing is that you think, okay, yeah, we're going to Baton Rouge, that'll be cool, or we're going to Syracuse. Yeah. They were dumps. Then you go to El Paso, and everybody's, well, that's a dump, and it was nice. Like we must have not gone to the dumpy parts of El Paso because El Paso was great.
The cool thing about Baton Rouge, too, though, is walking out. If you walk out the right side of the convention center, you can see the battleship. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. We might have to. We didn't. I think we did go on it. I think we did take a tour because my dad's into stuff like that. So I think we did. But I can't remember. It's been a while ago.
I just remember when I was down there, it was hotter than hell.
I can't remember. We went in May. We went because I was still going with that group that we were going to the first part of May, so it was a little muggy, of course, being down by the water, but it wasn't that hot.
I think we went in June, and it was like somebody turned on the heater out there and just cranked it on high. With the humidity and everything else, God, it was awful.
Yeah.
But, you get into the convention center, they got that bad boy cranked all the way up with AC, and you're freezing in there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to them getting away from other places. I mean, bowling in Vegas is cool. Everybody likes Vegas, right? I get it. I get why people get turned away from wanting to do the same 2 places all the time. But, I mean, at least we're still getting the tournament. Mm-hmm. So, that's my opinion on it. I mean, what are your thoughts on Vegas and Reno back to, like, in general?
I like them. I really hate driving to Reno. That's the worst part about it. But I like Vegas. I like South Point. I like being able to stay at South Point. And Reno's so close. We stay at Silver Legacy, but the prices are so crazy now that staying at South Point is not that bad. They've got restaurants in there. They've got you can just walk everywhere is in the same place. You really don't have to leave South Point unless you really want to.
Right.
Because they got a great Italian place in there, Vito's. They've got a great the Asian place. I call it the sushi place, but it's Zenshin. And then they have a pretty good Mexican restaurant. So they've got kind of everything in there. Plus they have a sports book. Yeah, the Coronado Cafe is apparently really good too, but we're always doing something else. And then the bowling's right there. They usually have some kind of other event going on. They've had the kids BMX stuff the last couple of years. That's been a bunch of fun.
Cool.
In the other side of the convention center. And so there's all kinds of things to do at South Point. Now Reno, they're improving they're improving stuff down there, and being at Silver Legacy is fun because it's got all those casinos, El Dorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus, and they're all kind of entertaining, and they've got good spots in there too. But you're kind of just there for the bowling.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know it, and the bowling stadium's only a block away. Yep. And they're cleaning up that area down there, so it's been kind of sketchy in the past, but they're cleaning it up. And I like the National Bowling Stadium because it's just an experience in and of itself. So I like going there. It'd be interesting to go to different cities, but it's not really like it's. I don't know. I kind of like. I just want to go bowl and put some money down on some sports book stuff. And in other towns, it kind of breaks that up a little bit. And you normally at a hotel, and then you some random hotel. Then you have to drive to the. I remember being in Syracuse, and it was just a nightmare trying to figure out, trying to get everybody around and get to the Bowler's Journal, which was in one house, and then get to this, which get to the stadium, and then whatever else. It was just kind of a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, I just the nostalgia of bowling in the stadium is always really cool. But if I had to pick my two, it would definitely be Vegas, because Vegas, I mean, it's just Vegas, right? And I do like the fact that it is at South Point, and you can literally just stay there. If you don't want to leave, you don't have to leave, and you don't have to worry about dragging your bowling balls through the parking lots and everything. It's nice. I will say that. Haven't bowled there in a while. I haven't done nationals in a couple of years, but it's coming around again. I'll be doing it again soon.
But yeah, I mean, I again, because there's some bowling trips that we take that are more for the trip than for the bowling.
Oh, yeah.
Like Springfield, a team's always going to suck, and Enterprise, somebody's always going to do better than you. And so Springfield, we kind of go for the vacation. Tulsa's a little bit more for the vacation than it is for the bowling, because Andy B's is always going to suck. I mean, it's just bowling in Tulsa is always going to suck. Bowling in Springfield there's at least a chance, but it's mostly going to suck. And we kind of go there for the vacations. But when we go to nationals, I go for the bowling because there's enough stuff to do. You bowl the team practice session, Bowler's Journal. You can go in there and watch other people bowl. I don't want to. I really don't want to go watch anybody else bowl when we're at Southwest or Tulsa or whatever. But I go for the bowling and to put some, ill-advised bets in at the sport book.
Yeah, why not? I mean, the Tulsa was okay for me 2 years ago. Last year, not so much. But don't put us down on Springfield. Yeah, you never know. Maybe Blind Squirrel finds a nut this year. Maybe.
Yeah.
We should have our Blind Squirrel nut jerseys hopefully by then. So.
Yeah.
Because we are teammates, and I believe we're doubles partners. So. Hopefully Springfield this year. I was actually talking to somebody about that today. It's one of those tournaments that I just never, ever have success at. I have gone down there and bowled well at Enterprise and then bowled bad at Sunshine. I could never put a full 9 games together in that tournament. And I'm due, dang it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever shot over 640 at Sunshine.
Really?
I've shot maybe, I've only been there like 7 or 8. This will be like the 7th or 8th year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've only shot 600 twice at Sunshine. And even the couple times I've done it is like 610 and 630 or something. Now, there is the 1 year that I had 1330, the back 5 singles and doubles, and ended up 10th in the 6-game combine. That was a great year.
Oh yeah, you probably got a nice little check for that.
Yeah, that 6-game the 10th and 6th game combine was pretty hot. So,
Good.
and I swept brackets the second set too.
Oh, even better.
Swept them.
I'm always opposite. It's either I'm gonna either bowl really good at Enterprise and I suck at Sunshine, or I've never really bowled really good at Sunshine. I've done enough where, I'm making money in brackets because I'm bowling good enough to beat everybody. Not really beat everybody, but beat people. Because let's be fair, Sunshine, if the better odds to win bracket money, your chances are better if you struggle to make it through brackets at Sunshine than it is Enterprise. It usually is, just because it seems like the carry sucks in that building.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Normally, I make even shooting 590, 60, 580. I make money more often than not at Sunshine because everybody else is having just as crappy of a day.
Yes.
If you can go 2-0, 2-0, 190, you're probably going to come out plus at Sunshine. I
usually play a lot more at Sunshine than I do Enterprise. Usually. Historically, though, Enterprise has not gone along with me either. So I always tell myself I got to get out of this damn city.
Yeah.
Oh, it just sucks. Wichita's the totally opposite.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that because I've got so many clips for shorts. You almost gave me You almost gave me one too. I think you had the front 8 yesterday in double.
I didn't James it, but I did give you a 14 bagger yesterday.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice little 750 in doubles.
Oh, well, speaking of, I didn't even know that Spencer shot 844 in singles. James shot 844 in doubles.
Yeah.
And then Spencer did it in singles, and I didn't even know what happened down there. It was just kind of quiet. I saw he was on a couple strings, but I wasn't really paying it. I didn't know which game they were in and whatever else. But yeah, he had a monster all event set.
I mean, it was 300s. And Stephen Keeler, congrats on your very first career 300s.
Don't call me Stephen Keeler.
He said, "Yeah, it was my first time after like the 70th time." Oh, it cracked me up so much. But yeah, congrats to James on the 844 and threw like a 47 bagger at us.
Yeah.
No, it's exaggeration, but 844, great set.
Yeah, he had the front 18, 19. Yeah, because he went 300 front 7.
Yeah. I think he had 20, 19, 20.
Yeah, well, yeah. So he had 19, and he ended up with 844 for doubles, and then he added 795. Yeah, because he could have. He had 8-0 in the bag until the 10th frame.
So do we know what Robards shot for the first team? Do we know what he shot for team, and do we know what he shot for doubles?
He had a pretty big. It was 2250 something. I think he's in the lead for all events now.
What about 6-game combine?
No, James has got that.
Oh, good.
Because Spencer went 840, 750, or he went 750, 840, or something like that. James went 840, 790. So James shot 1639 for the 6-game.
6-game combine. If you win that thing, it pays you a pretty nice fat check.
Oh yeah, I don't think anybody's now doubles is 1679, but I don't. Realistically speaking, I can see a couple people with handicap having good sets for 3 games at the same time. I can't see anybody 6-game combine in that any better, so I think he's got first locked up pretty easy.
And we had 1452 for doubles ourselves.
Yeah,
I 2142 for the weekend, which is not terrible. So
I didn't even add mine up.
I'm gonna cash in all events. I'll get like $7.
Yeah.
But we'll make a little bit of money back in doubles, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking at numbers from last year because scores are pretty damn similar to what they were last year. I mean, they're not much different. Their scores are always high down there for that tournament.
Yeah.
We'll fetch some money back out of doubles.
I don't know how they're high because I can't ever find that.
They got to be the right.
They're always flying. They're gonna be hooking and they're dead easy. And then I leave 26 7-pins.
Man, see, I thought on Sunday they were flying compared to what they were on Saturday. They were much tighter, and then I had the absolute thought I had the nut with the X2 in practice, and I go through the face twice, and I go, where did this pair blow up?
Yeah.
And it was able to scramble 237, I think, out of that, so that was a nice rebound. I've done some things this year. Now, granted, I had some bad sets on, really bad sets when I bowl on some hard stuff. But my mental game this year, definitely the goal that I set for myself this year. I don't beat myself up as much as I used to. So something like that I was able to turn into a positive instead of a negative. Because I could have beat myself up after going open to start the day. Like, here it goes.
Mhm.
So that was I was pretty happy with myself. Granted, I didn't shoot 800, but I'll still, after starting the day open to shoot 750, I'll be
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, that was even the more interesting thing, is because we started off, you went after practice, then you had one jump, and I think you left the big four
Yep.
first frame. Then I left a 7-pin and whiffed it, and then you opened again the second frame,
Yep.
and then I left something else stupid, and then I left another 7-pin and whiffed it. We had a really bang up start to that, but we finished pretty good.
That's our best double set together yet. So, and that's going to hopefully be back-to-back cashes for us as doubles partners
Mm-hmm.
in a positive direction. Team breakdown.
Yeah, we did really well in doubles for
veterans.
The veterans tournament.
Yep, and we actually are probably going to cash in that building, because usually we always sniff it. We're like right there on the borderline.
Yeah.
So that's happy. Take it and run with it. I had a good weekend. It was fun. But high road for the win this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
At least Sunday, that is, anyway. But that Ryan, that high road, I haven't thrown that thing in forever, and of course it looks good when I pull it out of the bag. I'm glad it went. So
yeah. So I mean, to be honest, I mean the thing with I don't know what always happens down there is I can't ever get the ball to finish.
Yeah.
Like, I was throwing a Volt Pearl because it was the only thing that would get down the lane and then finish. Everything else was putting me in. If I used anything stronger, I had to get in further. And then the back ends were so soft that I was going to get it down the lane, but then I wasn't going to get it to finish. And then if I tried to square up a little bit, it was so touchy with the wet dry, because there's a bunch of dry on the ditch and there was a puddle in the middle.
Yeah.
And so I threw my Volt Pearl, straight down the side, basically, or straight for me. I still bellied it a little bit, but I threw my Volt Pearl all weekend, which is basically a little stronger high road pearl. It's got a pretty high RG, but a pretty big diff, and it's not RT. It's probably R2X pearl would be the closest thing to describe it. So
I've never had a high pearl, and I'm really debating on drilling one.
Yeah, it's the Volt Pearl is really similar to the high road for all intents and purposes, so it makes sense that we were both throwing high roads basically. So
I thought that the Sunday they hooked quite a bit, significantly more.
They did hook a lot more on Sunday than they did on Saturday. However, I had one lane on Saturday that I just could not carry on. I tried different angles, shapes, throwing it harder, slower, bending it a little bit, shimming it, and it was so tight on the carry that I would go from a wrap 7 to high flush 10 to wrap 7 to flat 7 to drive by 8 to 6-pin to whatever else. I just got squeezed the entire weekend. My first ball average, my lowest so we bowled 4 sets. We had 2 team squads and we mixed up teams, because you can bowl multiple teams as long as you change 2 of the members on the teams at least. So we bowled 2 teams on Saturday and then doubles and singles on Sunday. My lowest first ball average for the entire weekend was like 939. And both my sets on Sunday for 660 and 660 were 9.5 and 9.51. So it wasn't for lack of hitting the pocket or adjusting or changing things. I tried to throw the Ruby, but it was too early and slow and flat. It required so much precision out of me for something that is free to everybody else. Again, I got like our group. How many teams we had? We had like 6 teams, 8 teams, something like that. We had a fair amount of teams, and we had some shooters there. But there were 3. James shot 840, Spencer shot 840, Brad shot 815-ish, 810, 18, something like that. And there was 6, 7 300s and a couple 299s in our group.
Yes, that sounds right. Yep. Well, isn't that not good?
No.
It's not?
Angel's going to love this stuff.
Yeah, Brad Martin had 824. That's right. That's right. And Carlson had 300. James had 300. Keeler had 300. 814. Yeah, 814. That's right.
Yeah.
Ryan Burks had 300. Robarge had
Yeah.
300. I mean, they were popping them off everywhere.
Yeah, and so I got a bunch of shorts, so everybody's going to be seeing a bunch of shorts here coming soon.
Yeah, so that's I know. Luke was like, I looked right at him. I'm like, man, you're getting all kinds of content today. You're just walking around smiling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should have named this episode "Why Can't We Carry at Our Local OCs?" Yeah. But anyways, if you're in the area next year, if it's at North Rock, sign up for the Southwest tournament. It is a lot of fun.
If it's at North Rock.
Yeah. Bring your striking shoes, though, because you'll need it.
Yeah, it is apparently a fairly easy frickin' shot for some people. It's not ever been for me. Everybody tells me how dry and how easy it is, and then I get down there. The back ends will not hook. They just won't hook. Anything. Nothing will hook. And the carry sucks, and I can't score. But I can beat the pocket to death, and it didn't matter what I threw because I tried my attention black pearl. I had this out for a little bit. I tried throwing the ruby in the first team set, and it just is turning into every other IQ pearl I've ever had. It wants to do everything it wants to do at 30 feet, or act like it's going to hook, and then just blah. But I'm kind of figuring out that I'm favoring higher RG stuff. There's very few lower RG balls that I like as a lefty, or that I get to throw with any regularity. Most of the stuff I'm throwing has like 252 and up, which is kind of interesting. I was thinking about that the other day, and I'm like, all the stuff I like has higher RGs, so I might have to look into that.
And apologies to everybody if they're watching. It looks like on my end, I'm lagging pretty bad. My internet must be something. So hopefully you can still hear me okay. Sorry for the lag there.
Stuttering like Jimmy from South Park.
I might have to hotspot it to my phone or something, but I'm not going to. I'd have to get kicked off here, so not going to do that.
Is the Volt the lime green one? No, I've got the Volt Pearl. It's the blue pearl one, and I need to find more of those because I really just need to buy some more high roads. Is really what I need to do.
Fair.
That I think.
High roads.
And I've got a couple of fluxes. I've got a couple pink badgers. I've actually got some pretty sweet higher RG stuff. So I don't need to go too crazy. I've got an old zero gravity that I need to fix up. So.
That's an overseas one, right?
No, the zero was actually a stateside ball, but it's like 10 years old.
What color is that one?
It looks like a phase 2, or it looks like the DNA actually. It's the same. It's purple, red, and black. So replace the blue with purple, and that's zero gravity.
I remember that one now. Okay, I'm dumb.
I need to reslug it, but
Jonathan, updating games on your Xbox or PlayStation? Not that I'm aware of, unless the wife turned something on upstairs a little bit ago. Shouldn't be. Yeah. I switched internet providers, and it's actually been really good up until tonight, so I'm not really sure what's going on.
Why we can't carry at our local OCs? Answer, IQ Ruby. No. No, I tried telling people about the Ruby, same low diff problems. Hopefully Luis walks back the best ball ever made talk. See, I was really high on this to begin with, too. So I was thinking, again, I had a bunch of emeralds, and they all sucked. I had everything. R2S Pearl and low RG has just straight up been terrible. Just awful. Unless it was ASIM. The astrophysics is great. But this thing is turning into every other IQ, Pearl, low disc, Sonic, phase 4, phase 5, whatever else. They just want to do everything that they want to do at 30 feet, and then they just kind of, or they roll early enough and heavy enough that they make you get inside to get the ball down the lane, and then they don't want to do anything, and then you gradually edge left, get straighter, and it's just the same thing. It's just, and then you have to up the speed a little bit, and it's the same result. Then all of a sudden it doesn't have time to make it back up the hill. This one rolls amazing. The Emeralds rolled terrible. This one rolls amazing. It just will not get the job done. And that's what I think the problem is that it rolls so good and it just will not get the pins down.
I wonder if my center's not working in here. I bet that's the problem.
Doing a heckin' depression.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out why I'm struggling like Joe Namath.
Yeah. Struggling.
I could care less about the team struggling.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely laggy. So hopefully you can hear me. Like I said, hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yeah. The audio is coming through just fine.
Good. I'll have to look at that. I don't even know where that darn thing is down here. Oh well.
Yeah. Okay. 611.
But yeah, I don't know. Amanda may be updating something up there. I'm not aware.
660. So.
What are you looking at? Your sets from the weekend?
Yeah, I was looking at my sets from the weekend, and just abysmal depression. Single pin.
Don't you struggle with carry in Tulsa too? Or is it Tulsa?
Tulsa's struggle with getting the ball down the lane. Tulsa is actually dry. Like, Tulsa, there's all the free hook in the world. I have always had issues carrying. Even that doubles tournament when Dave and Mike were down there, and I averaged 230 for the 8 games or whatever. It was 230 every game. I didn't have a game under 215. I didn't have a game over 250, but it was just strike, 7 pins, strike, 10 pins, strike, 6 pins, whatever else. It was just
right.
Huh?
Oh, you're talking about Wichita, right?
Mm-hmm.
The day that we both doubles.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got a whole lot of practice at 7 pins, which I needed because I gave away 30 pins in our double set, so it could have been 1480. However, other things could have happened too, I guess. But spares are one of those things that, especially single pins, even if they are 10 pins, so you're just going to miss some every once in a while. Andrew Anderson missed a 5 pin on TV.
Hands up.
Yeah, did you see the Frankie tweet? Or Frankie added him and said, "Hey, I had my hand up. Hey, Andrew, I had my hand up. I'm in the bar, like the third one from the end or something."
I did see that. That's pretty good.
And that's one of those things. Like, he smiled about it and laughed it off. He was out of the game already anyway. But missing a 5 pin on TV is a freak thing that will never ever happen again. And so it's just kind of like you're out of the game. You're out of the game. Your mental focus is kind of off anyway, because I think he was down like 40 at the time, and he leaves a 5 pin. When did those guys ever shoot at 5 pins? He throws his plastic ball at it and just kind of zips it. So it's one of those good bowlers just chuckle at it, and they'll rib him a little bit for it, but they know it's just a total complete fluke. And you'll have other people that are, "God dang, we got pros, Mr. 5 pins on TV."
Good old armchair guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, just trying to work on my stuff here. Let me reload this here. Give me a second here. I don't think so. Done. I know. So, sorry.
Yeah, no disrespect, but you seem to be an info junkie. I watched you watch other people's balls go down the lane. Seems like you just gather info from it and don't really care about the outcome. Yes and no. Yeah, I do watch other people's stuff go down the whoops. I do watch other people's stuff go down the lane. I pay more attention to the ball reaction because carry is a product of ball reaction, matching up, whatever else. I mean, there's sometimes where carry is just bad luck or whatever. I mean, sometimes you find the best matchup you can and you're just going to get tapped because of the situation you're in. Sometimes you're just squeezed. Sometimes you're in a stage of transition that's not great. Or just like starting off the set, it's normal for a lefty to have a good look in practice. Everything's flying. And then all of a sudden, you get into the game, the back end start to soften up a little bit, and so you just gradually kind of have to cheat left. But I pay attention more to what the ball is doing. The carry is something that can be adjusted. The overall ball reaction is what's most important. The carry, you can make little small tweaks and adjustments. But watching the ball reaction tells you whether you need to move, get into a different ball, or whatever else. But if you're close and you just need to make those little fine adjustments to get the pins down, that's whatever. But the bigger thing is the right ball in your hand and in the right zone. Then you just either slow down, speed up, tighten up, change your angles just a little bit. I do believe people say you can't practice carry, but I believe the opposite. I think carry is a product of matching up well, and again, right ball, right part of the lane. J.R. Raymond actually made a really interesting point about this the other day because he bowled the TOC.
Yep.
And he said that he threw the ball well, but he missed a few ball changes or didn't quite have the right ball in his hand. And he said, it doesn't matter how good you're executing. If you don't have the right ball in your hand and if you're not playing the right place on the lane, you're not going to compete in a professional setting. And it's unfortunate that people will look at that negatively in bowling. They'll just say, oh, it's just all about the ball. It's just luck, or it's just whatever else. But if you're golfing and you're on a 150-yard par 3, and what's your 150-yard club? 6 iron, 7 iron, 8 iron, something like that?
Mine?
Yeah.
7, I think.
Yeah, that's about what it is for me.
Yeah.
If you're at 7 iron distance and you hit an 8 iron, it's not going to work out. So it's no different than if you have the wrong club in your hands, it's no different than having the wrong ball in your hands. If you're in a professional setting and you're not making the most accurate club choices and you're either overshooting the hole, overshooting it, or undershooting it by 10, 20 yards, you're not going to be able to compete with the guys that are making the correct club selections and dropping the ball 10 feet from the hole. Yeah. So it's no different in bowling that it's not luck. You have to have the right ball in your hand, the right shape. You have to be in the right part of the lane to compete. I mean, everything, when you're in a professional setting, competing against other professionals, everything has to be on point. Everything. Yeah. And there's some golf courses that, whether it's the grass, whether it's the length of the holes, whether it's whatever else, maybe you guys got guys that draw the ball better. Maybe you got guys that cut it, fade it, whatever else better. And so if you have some holes that tend to go the opposite direction of what guys are good at, then they're going to struggle a little bit more than the others that maybe like to cut it. So right. It's one of those things where people say in golf, it's like, okay, well, if you need a 7 iron and you hit an 8 iron and you end up short, it's like, well, you just have the wrong club in your hand. But if you say it in bowling, it's like, oh, it's just all about the equipment. So it's just kind of stupid.
Yes, I always still like the comparison between the golf and bowling because there's a lot of similarities.
Mm-hmm.
There really is. The only difference is they can see what's in front of them in the playing field. We can't. So, stop using that AOL dial-up. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
This is the first time I've actually had issues with it. We actually use T-Mobile now.
Yeah.
It's been working fantastic until right now. I think our Wi-Fi hubs were not working right. So
yeah, it's like Jonathan has an English dub.
Yeah. Yeah, it's frustrating. So I'm sorry, guys.
Have you guys ever thrown radical balls?
I've had one.
I have never owned a radical ball, actually.
Thrown one. I had a conspiracy theory. That's the only one I've ever owned.
I would probably drill one because I really like the shape that they create on the lane. The problem is that radical only makes one shape. So if you've thrown one radical ball, you've thrown them all.
Fair. There you have it. Is the Outer Limits radical? Because that one actually doesn't look bad.
Yeah. Everything rolls like a phase 2. It's just every radical ball, if you watch everyone, conspiracy, guru, whatever else, conspiracy theory, they all are that round continuous arc. Every single one of them. It's a good shape.
Yeah, I liked the conspiracy theory a lot.
No.
Just couldn't throw it anymore.
What kind of surface prep do you use for your Fate so far? I tried extra shine in step 2, getting a bunch of over-under on a house shot. What do you think I should do next? This one I just threw until it broke until it broke in. I did recently reset it because I've thrown it a ton, so I had to kind of freshen the surface up. I took it down to 1,000 and then added step 2 back on top of it. But anything Reactagloss, you have to take it all the way down to 1,000, 500, whatever else. Start from there and then build back up to whatever final surface you have it at, because the gloss stuff just, it ain't what you want, player. It ain't what you want.
It ain't what you want, playa.
And so, yeah. So I would try taking it all the way down and then take it down to 1,000 and finish. That's what I've been doing with everything virtually, taking it down to 1,000 on a machine to make sure that you get a nice fresh reset of the cover. And then that's what I did with both of these. These are both 1,000 grit and then finished with step 2. And this one reacts really well, but it also carries. This one reacts well and just traps me.
Uh-huh. At least they smell good right in front of you right now.
Mm-hmm. JR said he had the wrong layouts. He said he wanted to change his layouts. He said needed them to finish stronger. Everything was coming in light for him. Yeah, and so that's kind of the thing. So he started fooling with strong pins and drill angles. Balls were tired on that worn HBL surface. So yeah, and that's what he said. He just didn't his equipment just didn't match up, and that's part of it. Again, equipment in every major professional sport, there's something to it. Guys even in baseball, if they're used to having a certain length of bat, a certain weight of bat, they do different things just to make them. Albert Pujols kind of famously had a bat that they determined to be illegal, but they grandfathered his in. You just can't use it later. But it was his design of bat that they kind of grandfathered in, which I find kind of interesting that they would do that.
Yeah, it's weird.
But, this was something I pointed out on the rabbit trails the other day, like with Rory McIlroy when he signed with Nike and he sucked for a solid year and a half. I had no idea that there would be that big of a difference between like a TaylorMade 5-iron and a Nike 5-iron.
Yes. Because
you think with irons, it's like, well, gosh, how much of a difference can there really be between different irons? But at a professional level, all those little tiny, small minutia, all that little stuff matters.
Oh, yeah, big time. Big time. Nike clubs are terrible. Tiger Woods made them look a lot better than what they really were.
How long does a scent last on storm balls? My balls don't smell anymore. You might need to give them a surface refresh. They're always, after you resurface them, they're always a lot stronger. I found an X Factor Reloaded that still smells like apple cinnamon Cheerios.
That's cool.
It balls 20 years old.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I've had games or balls or storm balls that I put in. It feels like a million games. That's a stretch, but that still smelled strong as could be. I just an example, the IQ Emerald that I had. I mean, I put a lot of games on that. I bet it's over 1,000 games easily.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing's still strong, completely strong smelling. You can smell it through the bags. I mean, and I hate it, the wintergreen smell or whatever it was. Yeah, so it was terrible.
Is the Fate still your favorite recent ball? Yeah, the Fate's my favorite of the ones that have come out recently. We have had a bunch of really good ones. I've got a bunch of traffic on my Revenant. I actually need to resurface that one too because I've used that. Once I got the Revenant, I ran that in tandem with the Fate. If the Fate was a little too early and slow, I'd go the Revenant. If the Revenant was a little too long and wiggly, then I'd go to the Fate. And so, yeah, I put so many games on both of those. They got virtually all my league time and a lot of tournament time because I threw those at the Veterans Tournament. I think I threw the Revenant when I was bowling singles and doubles with you, and then I threw the Fate and because we bowled extra. I bowled doubles, singles, and doubles with you, and then I bowled it again.
Yes.
Plus, we bowled team. So, yeah, I use the Fate and the Revenant exclusively the whole time. So, yeah, the Revenant's actually due for a surface touch-up.
I just dropped my resolution a little bit, see if that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
That seems to help a little better than what it was.
Yep.
So,
yeah, that looks better.
Sorry, I'm sitting here messing with it. I'm listening to what you're saying, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to fix it. Yeah, that's much better.
But yeah, Fate and the Revenant, again, this one rolls really well. It's one of those things, if you haven't gotten along with IQ Pearls before, you won't get along with this one. And if you love them, then you absolutely will love this one. I think it's one of those things. This one rolls better for me than the other ones, but it still ultimately gets me to the same place. The DNA is great. It's strong enough that I don't get to use it as much as I want to, but it is. I'm pretty sure this is going to nationals. Actually,
DNA.
I think this has to go to nationals because when we bowled on that 48-foot or 50-foot pattern that we were on the other day. This was the best look I had by a long shot.
I could get nothing to hook down lane.
So yeah,
I literally nothing.
This one looked pretty good when I actually threw it good. But
Yeah,
I think this has to go to nationals.
I don't know. The ruby kind of intrigues me.
I think you would be fine with it.
I loved the emerald. Is it anything like the emerald?
Yeah, it pops a little bit more.
Yeah, then I would like it a lot. I probably own that on Sunday too, possibly even Saturday.
Yeah. So
I kind of wish I would have pulled the high road out for team on Saturday and just move right.
Yeah. That seemed to be the play, was just squaring up and firing it with something a little bit cleaner than shape. Anything earlier was just too much, and then it forced you inside, and then the back ends were so wiggly that it just over under nightmare, just trap city.
I would have done a do over on that if I could, but that's all right. We move on. Live another day.
Yep.
Go ahead. There's a question just popped up.
Yeah, if I go from 0 pitch in the fingers to 3/8 reverse, would it be accurate to say I need to add a 16th to the span? Probably, because it's going to make the span feel shorter. I'm not sure I'd go from 0 to 3/8. I might go to a quarter. That's a pretty big change all at the same time.
Ooh, we got a Charles sighting in here.
Kind of funny, ironic to me that Belmo couldn't get a good look from the Fate whenever he tried to use it yesterday. Yeah, he just, for some reason, his stuff is just not that good for him on tour. But I think the thing is that people see TV but TV isn't like representative of the whole week. And so I think that he uses that stuff a whole lot more. And the Fate's so good that it's one of those, I've got to have cases and cases of that ball.
It does look pretty dang good, I will say that.
It does so many things right. It's just the perfect combination of like everything.
That's good.
It's such a great ball.
The hype in the house.
Oh yeah. I had to talk to my guy. Took the Fate to 2000, hit it with reactive scuff, and been able to throw it for more than 6 frames to start the night. Haven't been able to probably. Yeah, it's a strong ball. It's definitely a strong, and it kind of fakes you out because it's smooth, but it's a very strong ball.
Yeah.
Yep. This is something I've been preaching for a long time. It's critical people understand lane surface. HPLs, I don't care what they put out, will have a lot of friction. Summit lanes, Andy B's.
Oh, I'll tell you, you want to know some friction, go to KC Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That place.
They also have HPLs.
Yes. Good God, that place hooks and hooks and it hooks some more.
Yep, HPLs are crazy hooky.
Oh yeah. Now I haven't bowled there since not KC Bowl. I recently bowled there, but Summit since the new lane surface. So I don't know how bad, if it's still that bad or.
Yeah.
I don't know. Big B's are scented too. Unfortunately, the scent is permanent marker. Yeah, they're brutal.
The last couple I've done smell like spray paint, like straight up spray paint. Though those Black Widow 2.0 hybrids.
Yeah, minus
did for you and Trevor, yeah. Woo.
The motive balls are also pretty stinking smelly.
Yeah, they smell more like paint. Brunswick has switched to like spray paint. So,
gosh, because I remember having that. I think I've said this on the show before, but when I was on staff with them there towards the end, I drilled another shock. It was the one that we pinned down, and that thing was so brutally strong smelling that it was in my trunk in the box, and I could smell it in the driver's seat. Remember, the seats were not folded down or anything. I could just smell it. I was like almost high as a kite just getting to your house. But I'm X Factor Reloaded, one of the best storm balls ever. Smelled so good. Not only is the X Factor one of my favorite balls of all time, but the original X Factor, I loved the chocolate smell. I put a million games on that thing too, and it smelled like chocolate forever. So looks like I'm finally streaming better. Thank you. It was starting to irritate me. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And this thing is immaculate. Absolutely freaking immaculate.
That is cool.
I mean, you can't get better specs or just better specs on a ball than this. Still smells like apple cinnamon Cheerios.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's got the old S logo on it. This was like checked in. This was inspected in 2003, like July 2003. So it's almost 20 years old. This is getting holes, by the way.
X Factor line was just a banger, anyways. All of them.
Yeah.
X Factor Deuce, X Factor Reloaded, X Factor.
Love this ball. I might have to put holes in and take it to nationals.
Oh, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Hot rod. Yeah, there's a hot rod. I didn't have the hybrid. I had the original hot rod, and that ball
I had the hybrid.
It was good.
Does it make sense to have a gem and DNA in the same bag? There's zero overlap between the gem and the DNA. They could not be more different balls.
Really?
I'll pitch that to my guy Charles. The gem is a whole lot earlier and chuggier. The DNA is still strong. Shapes are completely different. The gem is earlier and smoother. The DNA goes longer and has some pop to it.
Is it? You wouldn't say, though, it really depends on what you're bowling on, really, right?
No. Completely different balls.
Okay.
Not remotely similar.
Okay.
I don't have them in the same universe. The DNA is refreshingly different from the big stuff that we have both right now and what we've had for a while. This reminds me a bunch more of like an X Factor Deuce, since we're talking about X Factors. The Deuce going way back. This is somewhat Halo-ish, actually, original Halo. So,
original Halo was another banger too. That was a good ball.
Yeah, the gem's really early, chuggy, strong. The Reality's cleaner and sharper. The Supernova's cleaner and sharper. So yeah, we just don't have anything. They're doing a good job of kind of mixing and matching shapes.
Yeah.
So everything fits together. There's a lot of hook potential overlap in all three of the lines, but as far as shapes go, they're managing the shapes really well.
Good. Primal Shock has a strong smell. I mean, it's a motive cover. They all smell. I'm just being honest. They all smell really stinky.
OMG, what'd you say OMG to?
I think it's because you're smelling the balls.
Oh,
I don't know for a fact, but
I don't know.
There he is. Charles says the DNA is much cleaner than the gem.
Mm-hmm.
Moved and Supernova is my super. Keeps moving with the chat here. There it is. Thank you. Help me out. The DNA is much cleaner than the gem and Supernova, in my opinion. The DNA is really like what all pros are saying. It's a stronger phase too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's great. The Supernova is really different based on what surface it's at. At 2000, right. It's like super crazy diggy, and as soon as you shine it, it goes forever. It just goes forever and turns sideways. But yeah, the DNA is, again, yeah, that's the best way to explain it. I think Charles was making like the best stuff. I don't want to throw anybody else under the bus or whatever, but I think Charles was making the best combination of like everybody right now is making the best stuff out there. So if you have not checked out the hype videos, that's one of my favorite channels right now.
Agreed. I can agree with that. Charles, he makes some damn good videos.
Mm-hmm.
And he's Team Coolwick, baby.
Yeah. Yep. He's on the team. He's had a couple of matches on there, and then Gerald Richardson designed my Patch Pirate jersey. I sent him kind of like the basic picture of what I wanted to look like. He put those fine artistic touches on it, and that came out really good. And
it looks great. You wore it on Saturday for a little bit, actually.
yeah, and the Hype does all brands. He's not on staff with anybody, and so it's not like, some of them, like I'm Storm, Luis is Storm, JR Pro Shop is Storm, JR Raymond is also unaffiliated. He's Buller X, but so Charles is unaffiliated, so he does everybody, and he does really great stuff. I think he's got the best blend of, and he can compare company to company, a B7 ball to a Storm ball, and whatever else, and have some cameos on there, and has a running commentary, and nothing ever feels like it drags on, but it doesn't feel like he just throws the ball for 5 shots and moves on. So
Agreed. He does a good job.
Yeah, I guess Jung-O is Storm, but the channel as a whole also covered B7. Yep, right. And that's my other, that JR Pro Shop and the Hype, I think, are on top of things right now.
Are we still hearing a little bit? I know we like to play in the chat here, which is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Are we still going to have some fun and try and see if the people watching with us can help us guess some of those names on that pin for Garrett?
Yep.
Okay. So here in a little bit, we'll still get with the chat here. But
yeah.
So a buddy of ours from is now living in Tulsa, scored a pretty cool thing out in Wichita this weekend. So at North Rock, they actually have a sports memorabilia store on the very low. I mean, they've got everything from Rob Gronkowski signed football helmets, Patrick Mahomes helmets, all kinds of cool nostalgic stuff. But he was able to score an old bowling pin that was autographed from guys like Mark Roth, et cetera, which is pretty sweet. But he's having a hard time recognizing some of these names on here. So here in a bit, we're going to pop some of those up and see if you guys can help us identify some of these names on this pin so we can help him out. So that told him that was a pretty cool find. Garrett Ward is his name.
Yep. All right. Does this have the whole?
I sent you a ton of them.
Results. Oh, okay. I got the final standings from the. So we want to run down the TOC really quick. The TOC did something interesting in having a 17-person stepladder.
Yeah.
I think that was a good idea, but also a bad idea because it drug it out a little too long. Like, the idea was fun, having several different shows. Yeah. I would have liked it better if they had especially for March Madness. Why do you not have do 16, have 4-person pods, do eliminator styles, so all 4 bowlers bowl, 3 high scores move on, 2 high scores move on, then you have a winner, and then the winner of all those pods gets seeded gets put on the show, which is an eliminator final for the show. It would have been the perfect tie-in with March Madness to have 4 different brackets and then run like a TOC March Madness bracket.
I think they did that one year. I don't know why they never did it again. It was where it was all double elimination or something like that.
Yeah, having this single person linear step ladder, the guys down there didn't have a chance. I mean, there's no way if you start on that first show that you're going to make it to the final show. There's just no prayer.
You have to catch an absolute heater.
Yeah, and I think it kind of went for the first show. It was Packy, Frankie, Tim Grundler, who throws it really good if you haven't seen him before. Prather and Wes Malott. What was that?
I was just saying, you said Grundler. He's a St. Louis guy.
Mm-hmm. He's got one of those real simple Bill O'Neill type of games where he doesn't have to change a whole lot. He's really versatile, can do all kinds of things. Or Tom Hess type of game, even, to where he can just fire it up the ditch, or he can get super deep and feathered if he wants to. He's going to be, you're going to be seeing more of him. But yeah, it was basically Frankie beat Packy, Tim beat Frankie, Prather beat Grundler, and then Wes beat Prather. And then you get on to the next show. Wes beat Smallwood, Stu beat Wes, Jake Peters beat Stu, Chris Vi beat Jake Peters. Marshall Kent beat Chris Vi. Well, no, actually, no. I think Chris Vi won a couple matches. I don't have the standings because they bowled like super late, so we were getting ready to leave early Saturday morning, and the finals started at like 9 p.m.
Yeah,
on Friday night, and so we did stay up and watch that, which was stupid, but we wanted to see what happened. Wes Malott moved on from that, and then we didn't see any of the rest of it because we were bowling and also sleeping, because the next shows Saturday night were 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. and we had 8:30 doubles and singles on Sunday, and then the show was at like the final show was 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock on Sunday when we were still bowling, and they didn't have it on. They didn't have it on our TVs down where we were bowling. They had every other TV in the center on, but the three right around where we were bowling.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I was able to kind of peek in through the bar and watch it through the bar a little bit. But and somebody said something here about earlier. I don't remember who it was about EJ losing because he was bowling Belmo. I think it just wasn't his day.
Yeah, I
mean, EJ's on an absolute heater right now. Sometimes it's just not your day.
Well, and nobody was beating Belmo in that championship match. That just wasn't happening. I mean, nobody had a prayer in that championship match once Belmo got there. He did make a little bit of a run because he was in the second group. So they had the top group. They had 4 groups basically.
Yeah.
And then it was 5-person stepladder, and the winner of that stepladder became the 5th seed in that next pod. And then whoever won that was the 5th seed in that next pod. And so Belmo won like 5 or 6 games at the end to kind of run through everybody, which was really freaking impressive.
Yeah, it is.
The payout is a little depressing, but it's solid. I mean, if you look down through it, Belmo got $101,000, EJ got 55, Simo got 30, Ogle got 20, Sterner got 15, Troop got 10.5, Anderson got 9,000, Marshall Kent 8,500, 8,000, 7,500, 7,000, 6,500, 6,000, 5,500, 5,000. So 17th place paid $4,000 to Packy. But that's enough for like the top few guys to live on.
I mean, that's barely more than a regional win.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Well, I can tell you that it's really good for a guy like Matt Ogle who does it part-time. So a $20,000 payday, he's got a really good lawn care business, and he bowls this stuff part-time when he can fit it in. And so a $20,000 payday is great for him because he's not dependent on it. Like that's not his primary source of income. For these other guys, though, it is.
And I'm sure that B7 pays him a little bit to have a ball contract national-wise anyway.
Yeah.
So he's probably back there. So he's got it made. He can still work his full-time job, and when he wants to bowl on tour, he can bowl on tour.
Nice. This is the only reason ball contracts, people want to talk about stuff, but ball contracts, literally the only reason that the PBA exists.
Oh, yeah. Because
there is no other way that these guys could afford to be on staff or they could afford to bowl professionally. If they were bowling or if they were surviving only on their tournament winnings, the PBA wouldn't exist.
Yeah, I agree.
The only people that be able to afford to bowl it is like the top 5 in points, top 5, top 10, whatever. And then people that were just independently wealthy that wanted to go out there and chase it.
Or somebody that's got some kind of backing that somebody pays for their entries and stuff. So, yeah, not wrong. It's not cheap to pull out there full time, that's for sure. But did I miss something? You got to look like you're...
Oh, no, I was looking at a comment. Been a long time since I was in the Discord trying to go in there again. It looks like all the channels are gone. Is it all for... no, we've only had 2 or 3 channels for general, but all the other 15, 20 channels have always been behind the paywall. So there's never been a crap load of channels on the free side.
And there you have it.
So
okay. And
yeah, can we step back to Simon for a second? What was about that remark he made towards Belmo? Again, we didn't see the show. We didn't see any of the shows. We saw a little bit of a couple of them but I have no idea what remark. You'll have to educate us on that one.
Yeah, please help us out on that one because I actually would like to know. Now I'm intrigued. So that would be I have absolutely no idea. I thought I would have seen a little more on Facebook and stuff about it if something was really big, but not that I didn't just miss it either. So been on the go all weekend, so haven't had a chance to really pay attention to much.
Yep. No, the Discord's always been kind of, but it's $5, $5 a month, which is more of a troll filter than anything. If you go onto any other Reddit, any other free bowling chat, whatever, people are stupid. Obviously, I'm not going to get rich on $5 a month. It's more of a troll filter than anything, and we use it on the back end for all kinds of extra stuff.
Ah, there it is. Made a comment about being able to strike or be able to miss by an arrow and still strike. I guess Belmont missed.
Way right.
Next time I missed it by a bit and it was out the window. Well, sometimes you get the ball reaction, some others don't. That's bowling.
Yeah, Belmo's Simo throws it harder. He's more. Belmo rolls it a whole lot more, and so Belmo's going to get those peel off the ditch shots that nobody else gets. Like Wes, I don't know how many times Malott threw it out the window, and it just did not wrinkle. It missed the head pin by a mile. He'd get out to the 2 board, and it'd just sit there. He's lucky to hit the 3 pin on a couple of them.
Really?
But you've thrown it so hard. Belmo gets such a heavy roll that he's not going to get near as much. Like Simo's going to be able to throw the frozen ropes and get him to hold in the middle. Belmo has 0. If he misses inside, 0 prayer. He's got all his missed room to the outside. So it makes sense that if he's aiming at like 7 down lane and he hits 3, it's probably going to peel off the ditch for him. If he's aiming at 7 down lane and hits 9, he's going Brooklyn. I mean, that's just how things work that's just how they work.
And but also, it's bowling. Some days the guys have the world and you don't. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. No one forced Simon to play there. Don't cry because Belmo had missed room. I'll have to go back and watch. I'm sure that they'll get it uploaded. And the final shows were going on earlier when we started the show, so might be able to catch the finals after we're done.
So this week I'll go back and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I have YouTube TV, so I recorded it. I don't remember ever setting it to record. I think it just did on its own because I did it once before, but I was kind of happy. So.
Would IQ Tour Solid in Phase 2 be a good combo for THS? Probably not.
I'd say no.
Unless you're a super high rev player. If you're Dylan Burns, then sure.
Yeah.
Bowling Planet already has the shows up. Yeah, there's a few of them on YouTube that get the shows up pretty quick. So.
Yeah. To follow up on that last question about the IQ Tour and Phase 2, I had them both at one time, and I can count on one hand how many times I actually threw it on a house shot. So I wouldn't suggest that if you're looking for house shot stuff. It just depends on your rev rate and ball speed, really.
Yeah.
There's not many.
Dylan Burns, yeah.
No, never heard of her. I'm going to tell him I said that too.
Yeah. Dear.
I'm going to bag on him and his bachelor party here in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Let him know it's getting married. Life's over.
I'd be okay. I'm okay with it. My life's not over.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That same joke, so I got to mess with him.
Well, and his fiance makes a crap load of money too, so there's that. So she can afford for him to keep bowling. Of course, he does well enough bowling that he doesn't really need a sugar mama, but it's.
And he's got a job too, so his job pays pretty good himself.
Mm-hmm.
So. His time off sucks, but outside of that,
they'll be all right.
He said no, medium rev, medium speed.
Yeah.
For that question on the IQ Tour or Phase 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still stick with my same answer.
Yeah.
But.
Yep. I think Dylan and Ashley will be all right. Now, Haley's an idiot for marrying Trevor, but
that's a fact.
You can't save them all.
He's so high maintenance and bougie. I always tell him, you're so high maintenance.
Yep. Driving over here in his white Beamer. He always brings me good stuff, though. Like, he comes over to drill 2 balls and he brings me like a $60 bottle of whiskey. So,
yeah, I know.
I ain't going to say no.
I just won't forget the day that we went to do some birthday party and we're driving downtown Topeka. He goes, man, this is industrial area. Why is there so many nice cars down here? I don't understand it. And I said, Trevor, we're in a freaking Beamer, dude.
Yeah.
He goes, I guess you got there. Oh, gosh. That's pretty good, though. What was I going to say? I don't remember. It was nothing about those two. Never mind. Lost train of thought there, but carry on. Was there some more questions in here that we missed?
No, I think we're all caught up on the questions. So,
okay.
Do you have anything, any other thing interesting to talk about? We had the TOC or the TOC was interesting. The 17-person stepladder thing, I think, was generally maybe not for the players, but it gave them some, especially for somebody like Grundler or Packy even, gave them some extra TV time, some extra experience on the blue oil, which all the guys say just hooks more and it's tighter.
Yep.
So it's some extra experience. I think it was fun for the fans to be able to watch several different shows, even if the pros weren't going to climb a 17-person stepladder. At the same time, I think it was it got extra people onto TV again that wouldn't have been there. I think it's an interesting idea. I think it generally went well. You think a 17-person stepladder is kind of stupid, but how else would you have done it that would have been like any better realistically? I mean, why not? Why not?
Yeah. I mean, that's to piggyback actually off of what you just said. I actually really enjoyed the players format that they changed up here for COVID years. Because of the reason that we got to see people that we wouldn't normally get to see on TV.
Yeah.
Which I had a feeling that would happen when you get some of those regional guys in. There's a lot of good regional players out there that people don't realize are that damn good that we don't get a chance to see because they don't do it full time.
Yeah.
So that's what I really digged about the whole thing. The same thing with the TOC. You knew you were going to get some guys that haven't been on TV a lot, been on some, or have never been there at all, like Tim Grundler. And that's why I like that format. Now, the 17-step ladder format by itself is dumb. It's dumb.
But I think it's definitely too much.
Yeah.
Or like I said, they should have done it. Just take the top 16 and then do those different pods instead of doing a linear step ladder. That's stupid. If they would have had the pods and then the winners of those 4 pods are on the final show, I think that would have worked out better. Here's some good. Do you guys think that they started off too deep in each show? The one that we were watching, or the one that I was watching before the show started that was on, was I think the second one where they were talking about Smallwood and West. It's like they started off at like 4th, 5th arrow. And they, Norm and Randy were questioning that. But the guys who played straight didn't do well for long. Marshall had a game and then lost it. So that's, these guys are professionals. They're not just going to start at 4th or 5th arrow unless, because, Norm was saying it's like, well, gosh, they did. I think that they got too deep too quick. They didn't condition the lanes enough, whatever else. But you have one game.
Yeah.
People don't realize how, and especially even if you're staying on the same pair, they change a whole lot faster on the TV pair. But people don't understand that 12 frames is 5 shots on one lane and 7 shots on another. And you have to assume, to get good information, you have to make good shots on those lanes. So assuming that you make a good shot, throw on the other lane, make an adjustment, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, go back and throw on the other lane, get back to this lane, and finally have something work out, maybe in 3 shots, you're halfway through the game. It might be over by then.
Yep.
So it's just such a ridiculously short amount of time. I mean, and that's something that's become a whole lot more apparent to me bowling on the left side, where it doesn't change nearly as quickly. It still does change, but sometimes adjusting to get when you need to strike, hitting the pocket isn't enough. And so sometimes, like, I was close all weekend, but the fine adjustments to get the carry more often than not. And then sometimes you catch up to it and then it changes a couple frames later, and then you got to catch up to it again. And you have two different lanes to manage. Like in the team set, we were on 9 and 10, both team sets. At 9 and 10, were both different. They were the same. They both, for doubles and singles, both lanes sucked the whole time, but they kind of generally gradually shift. And so at least I had the lanes the same yesterday. On Saturday, they were both different. And then between the two sets, the first team set was a whole lot tighter than the second team set, because I shot 610 the first set and shot 690 the second set. On the same pair of lanes, they just had oiled them again. The lanes were still different, but I had a better clue what I was doing, and I was able to, come out better. But I still shot 2-0 the last game, and
I think they hooked more of the second set of team too, because we didn't. On the right side, I didn't think they were hooked a ton. I think maybe they saw the lane a little quicker than what they did the set before. Backends were still crispy, but I had balls picking up a little quicker than what they did before. I had to pivot from throwing that recoil for a little bit. Like, I was throwing the recoil on the fresh the first set, and it was just seeing it too soon on the second set. So, just an idea.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what through the second set, to be honest with you. I have to go back.
Yeah. Yeah, because you didn't throw the high road until you threw the Venom recoil for a bit, and then you threw the X2. Didn't you throw the X2 for most of?
Yes, for most of the second set. Yes, that is right. I knew that there was a ball that I threw quite a bit over the weekend. And I didn't throw. Yeah, the recoil got thrown most of the first set, and then the second set, I tried to throw the recoil, and it was just seeing the lane too quick.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. All right. Yeah, because we pivoted. You said, "What about your X2?" And I said, "That's a good call."
Mm-hmm.
And then that X2 was too much on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you had to put that away real quick, and that's what's interesting again, because James shot his two team sets were 586, 585.
Yeah.
On the low end of the house, and this is the thing, is that he was pretty frustrated about it, but it's the low end of the house. I remember when we went down for qualifying for the PBA tournament in Wichita a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Jim Callahan, one of the reps, sat on 9 because 9 and 10 was we sat on 9 and 10 the whole time. 9 was the low end basically. And then they bowled up to like lane 44 or something. But they'd all shoot big numbers on the high end and then come down to 9 and 10 and just awful, wretched. And then they'd move on and they'd be fine again. Jim Callahan actually sat on 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 the remainder, like the back 3 or 4 games of that qualifying, the qualifying block that we were there for, because the 9 and 10 was so wretched and everybody was having such a rough time that he sat on the lanes down there and just let Sean Ryan and whoever else handle everybody else.
Yeah. He
had to sit, and especially 9 and 10. Like, he was watching 11 and 12 too, but that was a whole lot better pair than 9 and 10.
Yeah. 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 So, I was not real thrilled that we had to be stuck on 9 and 10 for both teams. No, it is what it is.
Yeah. But the low end of that house is so much worse than the high end. And so it's kind of funny. James got into Sunday and he's like, I'm kind of in a no-win situation, because if I bowl bad today, then it's just going to be I'm going to be pissed off because the whole weekend's going to suck. But he's like, if I bowl well today, then I'm going to be mad that I didn't bowl better to have a better all-event score. But I think he bowled so well yesterday. It's like bowling well, 720, 740 would have been, oh crap, I wish I had a better score yesterday. But 840, 790 that'll kind of erase those 580s real quick.
That'll pick up a little bit for sure.
So, I mean, when you can still shoot 22-20 or whatever,
yeah,
with a 580 in there.
Yeah.
So it was 1639, and then it was a whole lot. He was even higher than that. No, that's about right. 1639 and then 585, I think, or 586 was the first set. So yeah, 2225, 2235, something like that, with a 580 in there. I think he'll take that.
22-25.
Yeah. So.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but the low end of that house is terrible. Yeah, if you do well down there, congratulations, you lucked out. It's part skill, but mostly you got lucky. Now, the high end of the house, if you suck, that's just on you. Sorry. Damn, unless you're left-handed. Both Rob and I struggled to a couple of 660s.
Rob struggled all weekend.
Yeah, well, and he had the same thing that I did. He tried a bunch more stuff. I was kind of committed to the idea that I can't open up my angles, because if I miss out, it's going to stop and duck hook, and if I miss in, it's just going to sail. So I knew that I had to trap it or play fairly straight, and it's just working the angles out, and I'm still just not repetitively that accurate to bullseye it over and over and over again. Now I shot 660 with a couple of, missed 7 pins in each set, but so it could have been worse.
You shot at a million, so you're bound to miss 1 or 2, right?
Yeah. If you shoot at 26 corner pins, you take anybody else, regardless of how good they are. If you shoot at 26 10 pins, how many you think you're going to hit? I think I was 20 for 26 or 19 for 26 or something, which is less than desirable, but
I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to find out.
yeah, that's what I say. I
love you, buddy, but I really don't want to find out.
I didn't want to find out either, but I effed around. So, what's the cause of the down lane wiggle? Is it more cover, unable to handle the oil friction, or is it the core giving up, or a combination of both, or neither? It was a super wall. I would have to think that we were probably on 20-1, 25-1, because they were super crazy soupy in the middle, and they were really frictiony outside.
Yes.
And so that was the thing, is that the soft back ends are oil, number one being soupy on the inside, and then pushing that oil kind of out.
Yep.
Because I couldn't play on top of it, because the ball would just hit the lane and go nuts. So I had to belly it a little bit, but I had to hit the friction at a certain board at a certain distance, or it just wasn't going to carry. It was going to be a little too early, a little too late, whatever else.
I did find out you can still wash out if you get it there too late to the spot twice. That's frustrating. Or bucket. I did that a couple times. Just had to get a little quick and dump her.
Yeah. I bowl league with Benji Martinez on sport, and he averages 220, makes him look stupid easy. On tour, he's just a guy. Yeah, people don't realize how good the pros are.
He's also a product of the players format.
Mm-hmm.
Made a show on the players format. So that's another example of a guy you never heard of, and then boom, there he is.
Yeah. It's one of those things that we get to see Zach Wilkins, Packy, Dylan, Trevor. Realistically, I mean, Dylan won the RPI a couple of years ago.
Dylan has 3 regional titles.
Yeah, 3 regional titles, won the RPI a couple of years ago. Bo has a regional title. Trevor, if he would ever get out there and do it, he would. I mean, because him and Packy bowl stuff all together all the time, and he's always shooting huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, him and Packy are on par. So if Packy can be successful out there, Trevor can be successful out there.
Yep, they're both good at what they do too. That's what's one. I could say one's probably does something better than the other. Now I can't tell you 100% what it is, but
yeah, Packy's better at rolling the ball.
Yeah,
he's got that slow roll thing. When Trevor needs to get slow and loop it, Trevor's better when he can keep his speed up and like jam it.
Yeah.
Because he will throw pins everywhere constantly. He can play deeper, but his angles get a little tricky because his speed's so high, and then when he tries to slow it down, then he gets he does have a little bit more tilt than Packy does. And so he gets a little bit more shape on the back end. If he can throw it hard, I think he's in better shape than Packy, and if the speed needs to come down a little bit, I think Packy's better than him. But realistically speaking,
if
I mean,
Trevor left and jam it like you just said, he's going hard that day.
You put those guys on all the doubles tournaments on the house shots that they run, and those guys go plus 750 for 8 or plus 800, plus 820, whatever. They both average 250 for the day. I can remember one time we were bowling it was a couple years ago. I think it was the first year that I was a lefty, and we bowled a doubles tournament. I think it might have been Super Bowl doubles. Actually, we bowled a doubles tournament at Aaron's.
Bowl with me?
I can't remember, but Trevor shot like 220 or 230 and got tapped a few times and was bitching up a storm. And then he literally averaged 250 the back 7 games. And every time he flat 7'd or something or wrapped a 7 or whatever, he complained. he just loses his mind. And it's like, oh, he shot 259 again. But he lost his mind at that 7 pin in the second frame, and then whatever he left in the 7th frame, and he'd shoot 259. And the next game would be 260, and then he'd shoot 248, and then the next game would be 270, and then it's like, then he'd be crying every single time that he left one pin in the middle of, he'd throw a 6-bagger, leave a pin, and then cheat, and then it's like, no, I can't carry it.
Yeah, I think Olathe the East was better because we weren't bowling. It wasn't a full house shot. It was basically a house shot. It was a rec pattern, but it's Olathe the East, so if you're right-handed, it sucks. I'm sorry, it sucks in general. But there's people that like it. I know, like James likes it, Riley likes it, but I hate that place. But he shot 170 game 1.
Yeah,
170, and he was ready to lose his flipping mind. Like when I say ready to lose his flipping mind, dude could have chucked his bags out the front door, and you would have said, "Oh, Trevor's pissed." And he proceeded to average 260 the next 7.
Yeah,
at that building.
Yeah, and that's the thing is he's so used to having like a bad game for him is 213. Like he's ready to end himself off of 213 on anything. Anything. It doesn't matter how hard it is.
When
he
cries out though, it does get. I have to laugh at him sometimes. I love him, but I have to laugh at him.
Yeah, and 9 through 12 were the abysmal. But yeah, well, when you have Jim Callahan, Storm's tour rep, the senior tour rep manager, senior tour rep manager, sit on 2 pairs out of like 20.
Not good.
Whole block of qualifying. Yeah, they're tough.
By the way, now that I've got to see him in person, the new white projection screen backdrops and Bolero look freaking terrible.
Yeah, they kind of screwed the pooch on that. They put in because they're going to have for like parties or whatever else, they're going to have the projection screens. They already put the white backdrops up in place of the masking units, but the projection screens are not going to be there for like another 6, 7, 8 months.
It's like the tour bolt there, and then they said, nope, we're ripping them out.
So it's just white. And you'll see it in all of my shorts that I have coming.
Yeah, you need sunglasses to block place.
Yeah.
Bright. Apparently they had to take out a row of lights, Riley said.
Mm-hmm.
Down lane. Because that's one thing about down at North Rock is down lane, they've always had great lighting.
Yeah.
And with that darker backdrop that they had forever, the masking units.
Oh, it's perfect.
The balls looked so cool going down the lane. Anyway, I had to get that in there. Sorry if anybody here likes the white projection screen backdrops, but they're absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I just noticed something interesting.
Oh, yeah?
This ball is so old, it doesn't have the USBC logo on
it's still got
the serial number.
It's probably got the ABC number on it.
I didn't have that either because they didn't start doing it until USBC. So this just has the serial number and made in USA.
What year did the USBC, YABA, and all that merge into USBC?
4, 5, 6, something like that. It really hasn't been that long. I mean, it has been because I was in YABA until 2002 when I think I moved up.
I was YABA,
81.
and then
2002.
I went up at 18. So that would have been 2007, I think is when I went up. I finally said, screw youth bowling. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. I didn't start bowling again. I bowled for like a year or two when I was 11 or 12. I didn't start bowling again until I was 19. And so I stayed in youth because they'd let you stay until 21. So I stayed in there until 21. And my birthday is August 15th. So I was able to stay in until right up until I was almost 22.
I mean, I love the guys that I bowled with. I mean, we bowled every tournament together, all the state and city, and guys. It was, a matter of fact, my team was always the same. It was Brad Martin, Brad Miller, myself, and Ryan Main. Usually, do you know who Ryan Main is?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then it kind of floated with Zach Cawthorn and a couple of guys. We had some pretty good youth bowlers out of the Kansas City area back in that time. But
yeah,
we had I always enjoyed bowling with them because we used to bowl mid league or midweek leagues, youth leagues at 5:00 after school and stuff. I think Wednesday nights at Summit, I think, as we bowled. But I do miss bowling with those guys. Yeah, Brad Martin and I have gone way back too, knowing that guy.
Yeah, that was fun because I remember we used to bowl at 4:00 on Thursday afternoons at Gage.
Yep.
And then we bowl the 8 a.m. Saturday at Gage, and then we bowl the 11 o'clock Scratch League at Westridge. And then when I was in youth, Toby Contreras was running the GMJBTs, the Traveling Sport Shot League, before sports shots were a thing 20 years ago.
Yep.
I never bowled a Heart of America, though. That's the thing, is I bowled the GMJBTs, but everybody, the Heart of Americas are on a house shot, and I knew Randall and Amanda used to bowl them, and
I know
everybody else did, but I kind of stuck to the GMJBTs.
That's how she found me.
Yeah, yeah.
This beautiful face.
Yeah.
I'm not lagging anymore, so you can actually see it. Yeah, the Heart of Americas, just when it comes to the youth format in the area, you couldn't beat it. I mean, 10 games of qualifying, 5 to go to lunch, come back, 5 more, cut to the top 10. You bowl 10, no, cut to the top 10 or 12. You bowl 10 to 12 games of round robin match play, and then cut the step ladders. So you get a lot of bowling, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was on house shots, whatever. But back then, sports weren't the big thing that they are now.
Sports shot wasn't a term. It was a more difficult pattern. Sports shot was just kind of becoming a thing. And so I think the GMJBTs were more challenge patterns, but they were still a lot more difficult than what you bowled on in league.
Yeah. I won one of them. I won one at Olathe West. So I got one of those banners for the GMJBT, and that's actually, believe it or not, is one of the cooler ones I ever won, because I did have a North America title classic title. I had one. It was actually the bowling center's not there anymore. Strike and Spare, I won that one at Independence against my buddy. I felt bad beating him, but it is what it is. That was I beat Brad Miller. But the GMJBT one will still always hold like a place in my heart, because that tournament, I love those tournaments for one. And to be able to do it and win something when they're tougher always means more. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it also happened to be that year. It happened to be the JOG qualifier, and I was actually struggling. Yeah. And I won that an automatic bid, so that was nice.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I almost won one. They had one at CMSU.
Yep.
And I led by a lot until the final game. I bowled Justin Crumley. I was up on him by 50. But it was 30 bonus pins, and he beat me by like 25 or 26. I just didn't have a look the last game. It was like 2-0 to 170 something. So I just lost it in the last. But yeah, I was up on the field by 175 the entire time, and we had qualifying on Saturday, and then we had more qualifying on Sunday, and then we had kind of the I don't know how it worked out, because it was still the bonus. We got into like match play or something.
Yeah, it was Saturday qualifying and Sunday. Sunday was your match play. It was like round. And
it was that's exactly what it was. It was round robin match play, and I think I just happened to have Justin the last round or something, or maybe it was round robin match play, and then they seeded us into. Yeah, that's actually what happened. They seeded us. It was round robin match play, and then they seeded us.
Yep.
And then I was the top seed, and so he beat me the last game. And
sometimes you just get beat. It happens. And I lied to you. It wasn't Olathe West. We actually bowled a lot of those at Olathe West. Olathe West is great. Mm-hmm. Olathe East, actually. Well, I've won a couple tournaments there, but they're all youth, and they were either Kansas City Opens, or they were the GMJBT. I only won one of those, so when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
The cool tournament that Heart of America used to do back in the day, they always do a really cool one called the Big Guy, Little Guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
They run 2 of them now. Back in the day, they ran 1. But they used to do 2 of them. At one time, they did it for a short time where they do the Big Guy, Little Guy, where it's the adults qualified just the same way the kids do. And then the cut to the top, whatever. If you top 10, they draw randomly your pairings for the next day. And then the GMJ, or the one they used to do before that was they did a collegiate one. Did you ever bowl that one? Probably before you were bowling, maybe.
No,
because you never bowled a Hard America, so that's right. So yeah,
so I didn't.
Collegiate one as the college bowlers were the adults, and then the youth, and then they do the same thing. They pair them up together, which was kind of cool because, yeah, as your kids, you got to bowl with the Wichita State kids and everything else. So everybody thought that was neat. But any more pre-nationals videos coming? Oh, we got to get in here.
Yeah, we're going to
use your help.
Which one? Inside prison.
Are you looking for the ones I sent you?
No. Oh, yeah. We need to get to the pin. I'm looking for the this jersey. I can't remember what the name of this jersey is. They sent me some quick ships, and this is one of the ones that they sent me. It's Lane something or other.
That was kind of cool. I haven't seen that one before.
Yeah. It might be the Kyle Troop one. It's close. It's close to the Kyle Troop one.
It is close. Yeah.
It's Lane something or other. I'm trying to find what it was. They sent it.
Yeah, that one, I like that one. The colors really pop on that. One problem with the quick ships for you is you don't have all your logos on there.
Yeah.
How good is the P2? I mean, it's good.
Yeah, I mean,
I always like the P2 when I bowled on harder stuff. That's the most time I ever really threw it. We bowled on patterns. That's the most time I made out of my bag. Same thing with the IQ Tour. Mostly got thrown on harder stuff. But, well, anything can be hard if you make it hard. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm referring to patterns. You'll be getting a matching pair of pants for any of your jerseys. Yes, so you have some pants, don't you?
Yeah, I did get the. So I got the white and gold liquid marble pants and the jersey matching, and then I got the pants for the Space Cat jersey.
Disappointed
that I have. So yeah.
Sorry. Good job.
I have to get some leggings for the white ones because they're kind of see-through, and nobody wants to see that.
I've already put in my 2 cents on this, by the way. It's the Laneside jersey. Charles said, I don't believe it's on the website yet.
That's what I was going to say. I thought there's several of them named Laneside, but yeah, it's not on the website yet. So yeah, you're getting to.
Oh, sneak peek.
Mm-hmm. You'll get to see. And this is sharp. It looks a lot like Kyle Troop's Laneside jersey, but yeah, this is really sharp. I like this design quite a bit.
As we're getting emails tomorrow from Cliff and Andrew.
Yeah.
We're breaking.
Let me put the. Yeah, thanks, Charles. Let me run the caption across the bottom here. We have tickers now. Look out.
Ooh.
Yeah, you'll end up looking like bowling in your jammies like Louis Duckies. That's hilarious. So yeah, that's the thing is that and that's the pants are a little weird. They're a little big and kind of bunched up at the bottom, but they are comfy.
I need to get a pair.
They are comfy. I'm not going to wear them for anything but videos because I'll look like a 70s disco star or something.
Are you trying to say they're bell bottoms?
Mm-hmm. Close.
Really?
They are very comfortable though.
Gosh.
Extremely comfortable. But I don't know, like Kyle Troop can get away with it.
These don't look that.
I don't have anything to bowl. He's also on with like 5G or 5G, whatever they are.
H5G?
High five. Yeah.
Well, he's not with him anymore. He's with Coolwig.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's right.
So he can't wear the high five stuff anymore.
Yeah. or he can actually wear the cool wake stuff now. He can get away with it, but I'm going to look like a dumbass showing up to the tournaments that we show up to bowl in if I have like the full outfit. I could work it like a douchebag, but yeah, Luis and the Duckies work out pretty well for him.
I wore slacks 2 days this week. I feel like I'm a douchebag.
I do have to wear slacks for nationals, so that might be the. I might do that. I might take the liquid marble stuff and just bite the bullet and go.
Is that the one that's see-through?
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to wear leggings. Yeah, I can barely bowl with a shirt underneath my jersey without sweating my stuff off. Yeah. Dude, I can't. The only time I ever wear pants to bowl in is ball videos and nationals. I don't even want to do it for ball videos, but they suggested that it may not be the best look. Ginger chicken legs may not be the best look on videos.
Oh, it's one of your members here.
Angel likes the white pants, though, so.
Sorry, I cut you off there. One of your, I don't know if it didn't pop up on this side of things. I see it on my other computer here. Ernie Z, a member for 2 months. Late to the stream. Hope you guys have a great one. Thank you.
Yeah. Sweet. Yep.
I like her ticker at the bottom.
Thanks, man. Yeah, the tickers are interesting. I've seen some other people do this, and I'm like, what the hell? And it just added the ticker, so we can just keep this running so we don't have to, like, pop graphics up.
Man, we're all kinds of cool now.
Yeah. Technologicals.
Yeah. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Okay. Sounds like you'll need to wear your Space Cat outfit for GKCO. I'm a little disappointed he didn't wear the pants this weekend. Not gonna lie. But wore the Space Cat, hey.
Yeah, for GKCO, I might do it because it'll be funny.
Uh-oh.
So.
What are you wearing? Sorry, my dog. Say hi real quick.
Oh.
You want to say hi? Say hi to the people.
What's up?
Hi.
Hey.
What's up?
Oh, it was gymnastics.
Oh,
we had week, and today was dress up as your floor routine.
Cool.
Sweet.
Say hi. What's up, YouTube?
What's up, YouTube?
Give them the deuces.
Yeah.
Look at all that sass.
Yep.
All that sass. My goodness. All right. Go upstairs and get some food. Love you.
No.
Are you just going to sit here with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's take Angel reminded me about the bowling pin.
Yep.
So a buddy of ours, Garrett Ward, who is in Tulsa now, bought a bowling pin. And this is interesting because it's from the 1990 Firestone TOC. So it's a signed bowling pin. I see Mark McDowell right there. But we were going to see if everybody could help us identify some of the signatures or see some of the cool signatures that are on here. Guppy Troop's an obvious one. You can see Guppy Troop on the side. Mark Williams is kind of right there in the middle, too. I see Amleto Monticelli there, or maybe that's Mike Albee, perhaps. Albee, yeah. I think that is Mike Albee.
Pretty sure that is Mike Albee.
Charlie Taff. Jess Stayrook. I remember Jess. There were a lot of people thinking he was a douchebag.
Oh, Jess Stayrook?
Carmen Salvino. That's the long one on top of the pin. He bought this for $70 at the memorabilia store that's in North Rock. If you go to Southwest, you go to North Rock, there's two things you need to do. You need to go in the baseball memorabilia place, and you need to buy the rosin bags and the ball cups from that stand that's always there, the husband and wife, that they make all that stuff by hand. Amazing stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. Their rosin bags are the best, in my opinion, because they're not real rosin. They just get rid of the sweat off your hands. It's like, sorry.
Well, that's what Angel said. She asked them. They put kitty litter in there. And that's what the ebonite stuff used to be filled with. It was kitty litter.
Okay. That makes sense then.
Because it just absorbs. It doesn't have any rosin in it. It just absorbs. So let's get a different angle here. Gosh, I have no idea. Ernie Schlegel. I see the E here at the top. And then the SCH possibly Ernie Schlegel. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
Unbelievable. I think that's Carmen Salvino again. Dale Eagle is right there at the top.
All right, that's a cool signature.
Parker Bone.
Yep.
I see that one there.
And there are a couple different angles on it. Yeah, there we go. Some of those are brutal, hard to pick out.
Yeah. John Petraglia. That's the kind of sideways one right there on the seam.
Yep.
Mark McDowell. I don't know.
David
Ozio.
David Ozio is a cool one too.
Yeah. And then this one right below David Ozio, no idea. Well, I think I see Walter Williams at the very bottom there. The very bottom.
Oh.
Paul something or other. Paul P. something.
Go ahead.
That one that's right under David Ozio, I have no idea.
No.
Gary, maybe? Gary something or other. Mark Roth is on there. Dear Lord.
Mark Roth, that's the cool one though. That's pretty freaking sweet.
Les Zykes, was that one? Les Zykes.
What is that? There's a couple of
something
that look familiar, but I just can't make it out what it really is.
Yeah, there we go. There's the one I showed earlier again. Guppy Troop, Just Stay Rook.
Mark.
Yeah, there's a few in there I'm not sure about. Salvino on top. Yeah.
I'll blow this up. There, I can see it better. I just blew my screen up. I can see it a little better here.
Clint, 565 after 2, front 5 this game, then 610 the next 3.
Wow.
That's a number.
Yeah, that'll work. And that's definitely Just Stay Rook.
Yeah.
Mark Williams.
Charlie Tapp. Yeah, Charlie Tapp, not Taff. Charlie Tapp.
Probably Taft. Yeah, Taft. Gosh,
Mike Albee.
I can't do it on some of them. I wish I was better at reading signatures like that. I can barely read my own. That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
What's that one right there on the top?
I don't know. I think that's the end of Carmen Salvino, possibly.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, no, it was something. Ernie Schlegel. I'm pretty sure that's Ernie Schlegel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is Ernie Schlegel. That's Ernie Schlegel.
So, yeah, I mean, there's enough of them on here. Carmen Salvino, Dale Eagle, Parker Bone, Mark Roth, David Ozio, Johnny Petraglia, Walter Ray is at the very bottom down there.
I think we've probably gave him the same ones that we already knew. Oh
yeah.
God.
He paid $70 for this. I'd say that was a steal. A Brunswick Flyer pen.
Did you say Brian Voss is on there? It's the screen's so small for me. It's hard to see it.
I don't see Voss on there, but he probably is. Given that era, I think Brian Voss was probably on there somewhere.
Yeah, Del Ballard on there somewhere.
I don't think so. Not that I've seen.
Oh, leave that close.
There's an SD. It starts with an S and then ends with
Gosh.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. I'm sure Duke and Weber on there somewhere. Oh, I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
We're about done anyways. You need to go up. Sorry, my little one still wanted to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Duke and Weber are on there somewhere.
Yeah.
I would think. What tournament was this? 1990 what?
Yeah, the 1990 Firestone Tournament Champions.
Oh, yeah, then I would think that they'd be on there.
Yeah. So, either way, that's really cool.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet. I agree with that. Harry Solons, and I seen Marshall Holman, too. Yeah, see, we're getting some help there.
Congrats on a nice little 820. What is that, 821, if I can do math?
And that was pre-bowling?
565, yeah, 565, 256.
Nice bowling. Sweet.
Now you know what it's like to be left-handed, but not also be left-handed because you've got a track on the right side. So there's that.
See what happens when we have shows again? People shoot big scores.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you too, baby.
Very nice.
Very nice.
USA. Dave Farrar, Tony Westlake, possibly.
Yeah, some of those on there, as you can see, are like brutal to try and read. It's like
Yeah.
scribble, scribble, scribble.
I don't know, Clint. Sounds kind of fraudulent to me.
No, I'm sorry. Shut my door. Oh, back down I go.
Big Mike. Speaking of Big Mike, the Sweep the Rack episode, they had Carolyn Doran Ballard on talking about the Patch Pirate thing and kind of the progression of things way back when. Carolyn had a bunch of good stuff to say, and Mike had some really good points. Rob had some really good points. That was actually a good Sweep the Rack the other day with Carolyn Doran Ballard on.
That was over the week. Was it over the week? No, it was like Thursday or Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last week sometime.
I don't know what day they do their shows. Do you know? I don't know.
They do them kind of. I think they're doing them like because they had a show earlier. So they had a show like yesterday, and then they have them on Thursdays, and so yeah, I don't know. But
that's a lot of commitment to do it twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess we could always do a special one and have a special guest on sometime.
Yeah,
but
we have enough to talk about. Well, yeah, if we have a special guest on, that'd be a different story.
Yeah, we certainly can
see who we could get.
Wow, I don't think
I could probably get Stu. I think Stu would come on because Stu's great. He'll say anything to anybody, and
you could honestly probably get Stu and Barnes. To be honest with you,
I don't know about Barney, but I could definitely get Stu.
Stu'd be a good one to have on here. I'm sure people like talking to him.
Yeah.
Does he drink? He needs to have a beer with us if he comes on.
Yeah. Oh, he's fun. Stu's a bunch of fun.
That'd be cool. We could do a special breakdown pair to have that sometime.
Yeah.
I'll be back on set to do that. Stu's awesome. Yeah, we certainly work something out. We could probably have Brad Miller on sometime. No, we're about done here. Probably have Brad on. I could arrange that for you. We could do, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some cool people we could do every once in a while. We could do a breakdown pair shop stream again at some point.
Yeah, I think we need to do that. Somebody asked about national streams.
Yeah.
James and I are going to practice a couple times because we got about 2 weeks before we leave for nationals. And so we're going to do some practice streams and get some equipment locked down. But yeah, having another shop stream when you get a couple balls in a drill, we'll have Trevor over here too.
Yep. That works.
Before we get out of here, I did want to show these off. We had a friend send us these that they 3D printed and put together.
So cool.
So it's a ball cup with the ball bearings in there. I think, I'm not sure if they're getting ready to sell these or not. I would imagine so, because this is too good of a thing not to sell, because people inevitably, when we get to these tournaments that have 5 people on for team, there's never enough room on the ball racks, and everybody just kind of lets balls sit all over the place and they start rolling around. And if there's not extra storage space, putting down extra ball cups for spare balls, whatever else, this is freaking cool. Just to spin the ball around on. It's 3D printed, and then he glues the ball bearings in there.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
This is something else that he sent me. This is just straight up 3D printed. It's a little ball cup that the ball just sits on. And I'd have to imagine this is super hard plastic, so I'm sure that this is more durable. But you just put it down, and you can even move the ball around on it. But this would be super cool to just pop one of these out and then plop it down to put a ball on for any tournament that you're at. So hopefully they start selling them, but they send them to us to kind of try out. And I'm a big fan. This would be a whole lot cheaper, because most of these, I've got one of those tri-rollers from Jayhawk.
Yeah.
And they're fairly expensive. Now they're crazy, ridiculous high quality. But being that these are 3D printed and they just have the ball bearing stuff glued into them, I think these are a little bit more efficient. They're not like that tri-roller that I have is built to withstand the apocalypse, which might be a little bit of overkill for a bowling ball. I do like the tri-roller, but I like this thing an awful lot too. So
Those things come in real handy for those that don't know when you're doing like ball work.
yeah.
So they definitely do, especially when you move them around real easily.
Yeah.
Or you can move them around real easily. Sorry. Spit it out. But I think that did it.
Yep.
Let's do something else.
It is 8 o'clock. I am hungry. So we're going to sign off. We will be back 2 weeks from today, which is April something or other.
April 3rd.
April 3rd, and then I leave for Nationals on the 7th. And then, we'll have that, and then we'll be back.
I'll be getting back from Texas the day before that. So
okay.
I'm going there for bachelor party.
Yeah.
But
be worried about a patent issue with the 5-roller one? Yeah, I'm not sure. That would be something that's above my pay grade.
I mean, if you're just not selling them, it shouldn't be that big a deal, right? But
yeah.
But who knows? All right, guys.
Yeah.
Once again, sorry about my connection issues earlier. I'm glad I got that figured out. So, yeah, got to test out my new microphone. I'm happy.
Yeah. It was a good show. Thanks. Damn good show.
Very nice.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. It was a good time. I will have some more stuff coming. For once, they actually let a couple of balls release without announcing something else a few days before they came out. So the DNA and Ruby are officially available on the market now. They have not yet announced anything else. And so we got some real bangers. The Absolute's the real deal. The Revenant's the real deal. Eternity's great for literally everybody but me. The TNT, that's what PJ Haggerty was throwing in the team set for a bit. I think it's not a house shot ball for many people. I think it's going to be nutso crazy stupid on tough stuff. And then the DNA and the Ruby, again, the Ruby is, if you like Pearl IQs, you'll love this one. If you hate them, you won't like it. And the DNA is surprisingly good. The DNA is just nasty. Straight up nasty. It's a big ball that I can actually throw, probably going to Nationals. This one I'll drink the Kool-Aid on. And then, of course, there's the X Factor Reloaded that I'll probably drill and take to Nationals because the RG's 253. So
don't do it.
Yeah.
I know. I kind of actually want you to. So, actually.
Yeah, it's 20 years old. I've got to put holes in it and find out anyway. It'd be a good ball to talk about. So
yeah, that'd be cool. A lot of people like to see it. No, Daniel. Thanks, guys. You're welcome.
We've had the ticker down there the whole time. Our codes do not work on mystery boxes or quick ships. I think they used to work on the quick ships, but they don't. They're already discounted so far that you can't find anything. You can't find this quality of a jersey or a shirt or anything for $40 from anywhere else. I mean, you buy something simple with an Under Armour logo on it, $60. So
and get it that fast.
Yeah, and it ships next day. So
he's not lying. I wish I had that GIF up there. He's not lying. Everyone hit that like button. Absolutely, Clint.
Yeah.
I'm pulling again tonight.
Smash the like button.
Smash it hard.
Subscribe. Hit the notifications so you never miss anything.
Boom.
Damn.
All right.
Show.
Go eat some food.
Yeah, I'm hungry. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.